Welcome to the Healthy Metal Hippie podcast, where art and wellness collide. Well, hi and welcome back to the Healthy Metal Hippie. Today we are here with Ripp Em. Oh my God, I'm so excited to see you. We met I don't know, it's got to be 10 years ago or something.
At least,
in Calgary.
Yeah.
And now I'm in another country, you're in another province, and life looks different than it did then. You're in Ottawa now, and you're doing drag performance, and you're a musician, as you always were, but you're doing lots of performances out there. Do you want to tell us everything? How did you get started with drag?
Yes, absolutely. So, yeah, of course, when we met, I was doing very strictly sort of singer-songwriter performing, very acoustic, kind of, going around to little bars and cafes and things like that. And it was such a fun time. But, I am very much, we were talking before, I'm someone that really considers myself a jack of all trades. And I love, to dip my foot in all these different art forms. And I've always been one of those people. And so I've stumbled upon the world of drag quite a few years ago, just, going to shows and being in prides and all these kinds of different things. Drag had just kind of fallen into my world. And I realized that really did encompass everything I wanted to do. It was like this makeup artistry. It was costuming. It was dancing. It was singing. If you want, it's really just whatever you want it to be. And I was like, wow, oh my gosh, I need to do that. So I pretty much, pandemic hit. That was crazy. And as soon as, things kind of opened up again and we were able to sort of go back out, that was when I jumped into drag full force. There was a show back in Calgary that was like an open stage thing that you could sign up to be a part of. And so that was obviously what gave me my first opportunity to sort of jump into that world. And I have literally not looked back since.
I love that. It's like you find something that calls you and it just seems to fit perfectly into your world and the world that you're trying to create. And then you're just like, oh my God, where have you been all my life?
Yes.
And can't live without it after that, right?
That was exactly what it was. I feel so lucky that there were these opportunities that I was able to sort of find and, be able to find this place for myself because, like I said, the pandemic gives you a lot of time to think about what you want to be doing with your life. I'm sure we were all deep in reflection during those times, and so lucky for me, once I was able to get out of that, there was sort of a space for me. And, funny enough, I actually ended up going on to host that show later on. And so I was kind of the person that was able to make space for new people moving forward. And that was a very cool full circle moment for me.
I can imagine. So do you find it's a community that is very accepting of newcomers and people that want to try out performing or experiencing even?
I would say both yes and no. You have to find your people, which is obviously easier said than done. I think in this day and age, we are both lucky and also cursed with kind of, the mainstreamification of drag. Back when I started drag, there kind of was a lot of money in it and things like that. Whereas now it is very saturated and we're lucky we have, things like RuPaul that have made, drag become this mainstream thing that we're seeing a lot more of. However, we do see it becoming a lot more saturated in terms of, I would argue a lot of people can't make a full-time living off of it. You certainly would need other work. So it's hard. And I think a lot of people are scared of newcomers because of that. I've never been one of those people that's kind of scared of newcomers. I think that, I don't gatekeep the information I have. If you want to know something, I'm here to tell you about it because I remember what it was like, but I do understand kind of the side of it where people get nervous, right? When someone comes in and they're brand new and they're so good, it's like, oh, that person's coming for my job. They're coming from, but it's like, no, we can all exist. We can all be here. And I think there's kind of a fine line that exists there. But like I said, I've always tried to not really see it that way, especially being someone that got to host a show for newcomers and things like that. So I try to keep it open, but I don't know if everyone is like that.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I think there is always that fear, especially I think it does happen a lot in the arts too, where you're like, even in music, oh, this band is so great. And well, I don't want to tell people that they're great because it's going to take away from my band.
Now they're going to
But
get my gig.
But they're not really. Like there is room for quality acts, whether it's drag music or whatever it is, right?
Exactly.
There's room for everybody. You know, and I think it is like a place. I'm not part of the drag community, so please correct me on anything if I'm wrong. But it seems to me like a place that people go to express themselves as themselves, or this hyper exaggerated version of themselves. Yeah, show up where they don't feel like maybe they could elsewhere.
Exactly. Precisely. So that's, the way I look at it. I'm like, why would I ever want to shoo someone away from that feeling? Because it is such a place where you get to just be exactly who you are. And it's, provides that safety to sort of get to hyper express yourself, without those barriers that society would normally be putting on you to be afraid. So there is a lot of power in that. And I think that should be remembered, not to be preachy, but
Yeah, absolutely. I think just as people in general, I think a lot of us feel that you have to shut yourself away, box yourself up a little bit. So I think, yeah, if there is a community that will encourage you to unbox.
Yes.
We need it. We need that community.
It's true. Yeah, it's been such a blessing. I also always joke that as adults, it is a lot harder to make friends, like besides, work colleagues and things like that. Like I find, a lot of adults don't really just make friends. We don't go to school, things like that. So having drag has been such a blessing for me because it is really this extracurricular that we all share and we all have. And I've made some of the best friends and chosen family through that just by the way that we show up and the way we admire each other's art. And yeah, it is so beautiful for that too. And, especially some of the same like life experiences that we go through as queer people and things like that. Like it just has brought so much love into my life, not only as an art form, but just with the people that kind of come with it. So yeah, it's been so cool for that too.
It feels like, the core of it feels like community.
Yeah. Yeah.
And like you speak about it and it makes me feel quite emotional because it's just like, I think that sounds like the community everybody wishes that they had. With that with building those solid relationships and friendships and your chosen family, they become your world in a lot of ways too. They make up all those other pieces and maybe those holes that your biological family doesn't fill, and we need them.
It's true. It's true. I'm so lucky. My very much like drag mentor, she's still in Calgary, but we're still close as ever. She is an incredible performer, artist, activist. Her name is Carla Marks. And, not only has she, helped me with drag things like doing my makeup and, things like that, but also, she's been the person that's been beside me. She's been my, my reference on my resume. She's helped me with so many just real life things as well that, I don't have that experience. I don't know what to do. And I'm so grateful that, that chosen family has filled those holes, like you said, and those gaps and has made me, so supported in every way. Like it's just such a blessing. I always tell her, like, not a day goes by where I'm not grateful for that relationship that we have.
So you mentioned being involved with Pride to start with, and then that's kind of how drag came into your world. I would love to hear your thoughts and, how it's impacted you and how it impacts the community really about all of the, I don't want to say it, but all of the hatred that comes back. Here in the UK, at least in Essex, we've been running into problems lately with new local governments, and they've decided to cancel all Pride events. They've also removed all Pride leaflets and advertisements from all of the local libraries. And I feel quite disgusted, honestly, about the people that I've seen commenting going, yeah, it's about time. And then there's people that are really coming together, the community's coming together to fight back and be like, yeah, well, Pride's over here now. And I love that. But like, it kills me how much discrimination there is. I'm an ally. Absolutely. But I would love to hear from your perspective how that impacts what we can do to help and all of these things.
Yeah, for sure. Well, I can relate in a little way because coming from, Calgary and Alberta, there's a lot of, laws and things being put into place also that are very, anti-LGBTQIA2+. And that being said, like, I kind of have been at the forefront of it. I have seen this hate in a lot of ways. I was also a library worker when I worked in Calgary. And, I would get emotional because of these incredible books that we had. And I can tell you right now, they were not inappropriate. There was nothing inappropriate about them. And some of these books, are gone now. Like it's been a wild couple, months, honestly, a year, I guess now, being in Canada as well. And it is so, so sad to me because I can speak on the perspective as, I am a transgender adult. I am someone who is lucky enough to have figured myself out over these years to be able to get that help and things. But I can also speak as someone that was a queer child at one point. And part of the reason I was able to grow and flourish into the person I am today is because I was able to have that support around me. To be very brash about it, we are going to see so many more dead children because they are not going to see themselves. Part of what I do that I get to be so proud of when I get to go to these smaller towns and do prides is that I get to be an alive transgender adult for these kids to see. Because I did not necessarily know that I was ever going to get to see that, to be that. And there was a lot of dark years in my life that, turned into drug abuse, alcohol, things like that, because there was no future in sight. And part of Pride is just to show people that there is one, that there is a future, that you should be here, that, like I said, this community exists for you, that there is a chosen family if your real one, isn't there for you. And in levels of like this argument about like appropriateness and things like that, I like to go into like movie ratings. There are movie ratings. There's like an 18A movie, there's a PG-13 movie, there's a G movie. So, when these drag performances are happening in spaces where there are children, the performances are G-rated. Of course, when you're going to go to a bar, you're maybe going to see an 18A show because everyone in the bar is above the age,
Yeah.
In these public spaces, in these spaces with children, the things that are happening are books are being read, songs are being sung, the same library songs that I learned as a worker, like nothing inappropriate. It's just such a strange argument. And also kids love to play dress up. They love to do theater. They love to dance around and sing and be creative. That's part of being a child. Like there's again, nothing inappropriate about singing and dancing and getting to play pretend and also getting to know that you live in a world where you can be whoever you want to be. So I don't get it. It is such a scapegoat, because there's so much going on right now. There's so much war, and for some reason we're pointing fingers at a community who historically has been oppressed.
Because it's easy, right?
And that's what history is, right? We point fingers at people who are historically oppressed, and it takes away from the big picture that's happening, which is fascism at the end of the day. So it's crazy. It's, I didn't have it on my bingo card to be living through this, but I don't think any of us did. And our ancestors, if you look back at queer history, were always fighting, like the Stonewall riots. That was literally because they had had enough of this. They had had enough of this. And I would argue that, the harder they come for us, the harder we're going to come for them. We're always going to exist. We always have. There's so much proof of it in our history that no matter how much they try to erase, it's still there, will continue to be. So as scary as it is, because it is, and there are days where I'm really scared. I can sit here and pretend I'm this strong, person all I want, but I'm scared. But I think that's okay. I think that we can be scared and we just need to be organized. We need to be together. They don't really argue with each other that much. They're not arguing with who hates each other more. They're kind of just getting it done right now. So my hope is that we can organize, that we can have solidarity with each other, and that we can just see the bigger picture and fight through this, because we always have. We always have. And we can do it scared, We just have to do it.
I mean, that's the thing. You have to do it scared.
Yeah.
Oh God, and it breaks my heart, right? I mean, gender, people like to say this, you're right. It's a new thing. Being trans, it's a new thing. And now everybody's gay and all this ridiculous crap. And you're like, look at ancient times. It's always been there.
It's always been there. We just have language now. But yes,
Exactly.
Like I said, no matter how much history we try to erase, it is still there. And it's inevitable, right? So I don't think, as scared as I am, I persist. I keep doing my thing. And like I said, part of the honor of getting to kind of have the platform that I do is to get to show people that you can be this, you can be whatever you want to be. And it makes me so happy. I am so grateful. I recently did a smaller town pride, and I was able to talk to a younger kid. They were 18, but they were like, oh my gosh, I didn't even know that you could do drag the way that you do. And I was like, yes, you can. You can be anything. You can do anything. And it was just, I feel so lucky, even if I can just show one person that they could maybe be this one day, and that's a good enough reason to stick around. That is good enough for me.
Absolutely. I think we forget about that sometimes, where it's not just about influencing the masses immediately. It is absolutely, piece by piece. And then as time goes on, we hope that all this shit dissolves, but if one person is reached today, everything is worth it.
It's true. It's true. 100%. Yeah, that's really, really how I look at it. Like I said, I feel very lucky to have the platform I do, but if I can, as cheesy as it is, if I can just make a difference for one, person and make them think okay, maybe this is worth it. Then I feel like I've done my job, because, I feel like I spent so much of my life as that scared queer kid. And so I see it and I know it so well. And I want them to know that it doesn't always have to be so scary.
Thank you for being that voice too.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, you mentioned that you had previously substance abuse problems, and so obviously this stuff has really deeply impacted you, but you have been celebrating sobriety as well.
Yes, I have. I have, oh my gosh, 6 years sobriety from alcohol, which was, honestly, music and that were so tied together, because it just was, it's bar culture. It's I remember, someone that was kind of a music mentor to me. There was one night where I was opening for him, and I was so excited because, this guy was a mentor to me, and I got to open for him, and, it was at this place I'd never played, and it was just a really big deal to me. And we were waiting for the sound guy, and the sound guy was late. And so the mentor says to me, oh, well, what musicians do when they're waiting for the sound guy? They drink. That's what they do. They drink. And so we were taking shots of tequila, shots and shots and shots. And just because, again, I'm like, wow, this is the coolest thing ever. And then, flash forward to the show, I'm so smashed. I'm literally playing acoustic music, and somehow I'm bleeding all over my guitar. That's how hard I was playing. And I was not playing metal. I was not playing anything that deserved to have that happening. I was playing indie acoustic music.
That's crazy.
And so that was, I kind of remember the big start of it was kind of this I'm in this gig culture and I'm so cool and I'm a musician and we're drinking and we're doing the thing and this is what we do. And it just became a living nightmare. Honestly, it really, really did. It was so fast. It crept up until, and the one thing about it too is because it was happening in this like gig culture is I always say that like my alcoholism was kind of a public spectacle because it was everywhere. I became the person where, you know, I'd walk in and they'd go, oh God, what is this person going to do tonight? Like, you know, what havoc are they wreaking tonight? Because we're going to kick this person out eventually. Just what is it going to be for? And yeah, that was such a bad look. And looking back, like, you know, I deserved all of those looks. There was so many messes that I created. And it also was around the pandemic where I realized that performing is something I love so deeply. It really is, you know, one of my greatest loves in this life is creating art and getting to, you know, show that to people. And I was like letting something get in the way of that. I was like letting, you know, these substances get in the way of that. And that was really sobering to be like, wow, you know, this thing that I love, like I'm ruining it. I'm actively ruining it. What am I doing? And I'm actively ruining my relationships around it and just all of it. Like, what am I doing? And so I decided to put down, you know, alcohol. And then that is literally the exact moment that COVID-19 happened. It was kind of terrible timing and divine timing all at the same time. Because yes, I was like locked in my house with all of my thoughts and everything. But being a low income person, I wouldn't have had the means to take time off work or anything like that. So I actually got time off of work because of the pandemic. But it gave me time to heal. It gave me time to heal in my house because I was very sick. You know, quitting alcohol cold turkey when you have an addiction. Don't do that. It's actually very dangerous. But that's what I did and got myself out of that. And lucky to say 6 years later, you know, haven't gone back. I am very happy. I'm still in bar culture, obviously, because I perform. Mostly where I perform are bars, but I have zero problem with that. Like, I'll hold your drink if you need to go to the bathroom. All of the bartenders know that I get my Red Bull. That's what I do. Like, they'll usually have it ready for me when I come in. It's like, cheers. I'm like, oh, thank you, you know? So yeah. And I love being open about this as well. Like, I just love being open about all my stuff. If it makes one person feel better, that's good, you know? And especially with this, because being drag performers, a lot of the time, one of the only places we have to perform are bars. So if you are newer to sobriety or you are uncomfortable, like I want people to know that like, I'll always not be drinking. Like if you need someone to go be around, I don't care if I don't know you. Like if you feel awkward, like I've literally had that happen in Calgary. People be like, hey, like you're sober, right? Yep. Oh my gosh, great. Okay. Like, you know, and that makes me so happy that I can be that kind of safe space for somebody. Like I'm a physical safe space within kind of a uncomfortable situation, you know?
That's actually partially why it's called the healthy metal hippie too, because I think about it and I'm like, so much of this traditional kind of rock star life, people are leaving it behind, you know. Now you're hearing about your favorite rock stars and their vegan diets and giving up drugs and alcohol and, you know, yoga every day and their fitness routines. You know, there's obviously, I'm not naive. I know it happens. But I guess now you hear a lot more about the wellness than you do about the illness, right?
Yes, which is like, I kind of love that like sobriety is sort of trendy right now. But yeah, I've definitely seen the joke of like, okay, so like, are you not drinking because you'll like ruin your whole life? Or are you not drinking because it's just like, oh, like I get bloated. Like, like what's the reason? What's the reason?
Yes, I know.
But either way, I think, you know, I think that's really cool because when I kind of stopped drinking, that was such a fear of mine was like, well, everyone's drinking but me. This is so awkward. This is so uncomfortable. So like, it's very cool. I found so many, you know, people who don't drink even for, you know, not life ruining reasons like mine. And I think that's great. I think that's great because we can at least hang together. It's very nice. And like I said, I'm not bothered if people want to drink around me and stuff. Like there was a time where I needed to be clear of all of that, but I'm certainly well past that point. But I think it's so cool that a lot more people are kind of on that wellness journey now, whatever it is. I think it's great.
I really think so too. And it's just, and I also like that, you know, even compared to 5-6 years ago now, if you're like, oh, I'm not drinking, people are like, that's cool.
Yeah,
Where
they're not
before
going to
it'd
be
be
like,
like, you
why?
big loser.
Why? What's your
Yeah.
problem? Yeah, totally. I find like normalizing that is just so, I think it's great for all, like it benefits all of us, whether you don't drink or you do. It benefits all of
Yeah.
us.
It's, I don't know, I think it's just a good thing. I'm really, really proud of you.
Oh, well, thank you very much. Yeah. Trust me, when you met me, that was the times I'm referring to. So it's been very, very good few years to be where I am now.
But you know what? I think we all go through whatever hard times that may come upon us, right? Whatever they may be. And you know what? And it just shows strength how you get through them, right? Where you end up finding your clarity and then moving forward with your life.
It's true. I'm not, as cheesy as it is, I'm happy that everything happened the way it did because I would not have the knowledge that I do now. I would not have the knowledge about myself, about the world, the empathy that I have for others. I gained so much of that by going through all the things I did. So, I think it all happened for a reason to put me here exactly where I am.
Absolutely. And in different ways, I feel the same ways. Like, I have loved being in England, for example, but these might have been some of the hardest years of my life.
Yeah.
And also the most transformative. And also they're now finally bringing me to all these places that I've always wanted to be. And it's like, God, just, sticking it out, being tough as shit through all the crazy. Eventually you get there. And it's not that it's always like this. It's like, but it's worth it if you can keep fighting for it.
Exactly. It is so worth it. You're right. It's not linear. It'll go up and down, but it is so worth it. Having a life that you actually value is so worth it.
I thought it was really interesting when you're talking about like you realized how deeply you love performing and that, yes, by continuing in this cycle that you were just throwing that away. And I think this is where it comes into like really knowing yourself and your dreams, your goals, your values. That's where you can like really find that change and be able to make it. It's so impressive. It's so good.
Oh, thank you. Honestly, like I feel like kind of dumb sometimes because it's honestly the only thing I ever have known. I am so grateful. I'm around so many, smart, amazing humans. My partner being one of them, brilliant human, master degree, social work, doing amazing things, helping people constantly. It is literally tangible, helping people every single day. And I'm kind of just like, I dance around and I talk about some stuff that was sad to me sometimes, and maybe that'll help. But it's that I know that's not all that it is, but it is. This really was, the only thing I've ever known since I was a child. Since I was as young as I can remember, I've been singing and dancing and performing and asking my mom, like, I want to go perform. Like, why can't I do this? I was like yelling at her at like 3 years old, being like, why am I not famous? Why am I not famous? What's going on? And she was like, you're 3. What do you want to be famous for? Like, that's just always been who I am. So it's, it's kind of been a long time coming. I never knew, that this exactly like this drag performing was how it was going to be. But I think it's perfect because again, I get to do the like makeup. I get to do visual art. Like I get to be a host. I get to sing. I get to do stand-up comedy. I get to play music. I get to, like it encapsulates everything I want to do. So, and it's activism as well, which is something I'm so passionate about. I get to do that at the exact same time. So it's perfect. But yeah, like I said, I'm so grateful that I get to do what I do. But geez, if I didn't have this, I don't really know.
And that's okay too. That's totally valid as well.
Yeah.
I was curious too. Yeah. So with activism, do you want to tell us about that? I mean, I can see it in the clips that I see of your performances. Obviously, I can see it here I can hear it when you're telling me here. But talk about it a bit. Let me know.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I would argue that drag kind of is its own form of activism because it is, being so unapologetic. It is an unapologetically queer art form in a world that is so often now, time and time again, telling us to, quiet that and to not be putting that on display. And I think that some of that is lost to, again, going back to what we talked about, like the capitalism of it all and the fact that it's been a little bit saturated. But at the end of the day, like the core thing that drag is it's gender performance, it's queerness personified. It's when I even first started drag, there was not a lot in Calgary of people that like looked like me that were doing drag. It was a lot of like cisgender gay men, things like that. And it took people like me on the TV to like more, transmasculine people or like even like cisgendered females doing drag for me to be like, oh, whoa, like I'm allowed to do that. I didn't even know I was allowed because there was even like gatekeeping within this queer community of this art form. And so I think now it's gotten a lot better, I would argue. Obviously, there's still problems, but I think drag has always been for everyone. And I think that getting to advocate for, like for me personally, it's a lot of advocating for transgender rights because I do come from Alberta, which things are getting very bad there for trans people. And being a trans person myself, it's something I feel like I'm able to speak on in a way that I really understand. So for me, transgender rights and activism is not, I don't want to say at the forefront because I care about a lot of things, but it's something I do feel very confident talking about. So that is where a lot of my activism lies, especially right now with so many of my friends being in a bad position. Moving to Ontario was very eye-opening for me because things are very different here. Of course, there's the potential for it to get bad, which is why we like can never be too happy and chill with the way things are. We always have to be making sure that our government is going to be protecting these things like our healthcare because in Alberta they're taking that away so quickly. So for me, getting to not only, I guess, perform, but to be talking about these things because I do, there's a lot of crossover that happens in my performances where I'm either talking about these things or even, I don't want to say joking about them, but like, making light, I guess, of them.
Yeah.
Just because it sucks. Oh my gosh. Sometimes I have to just laugh about the fact that like, yeah, I'm a trans person and they want to kill me. They want to kill me. Like, sometimes we just have to laugh about that. And what else are we going to do? We're going to keep fighting. But getting to put that activism in my art is very powerful for me. And I think at the end of the day, what drag has always been about, it's always been about being an activist for these things, for queer rights, for trans rights. So it's really cool that it adds that whole other layer to art.
I think, at the end of the day, art in any form should say something.
Always. Yep. And art in itself, is activism as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I have to ask about all of your amazing outfits.
Yeah.
Because you always look so cool.
Oh,
in,
thank you.
Everything. So do you make a lot of them?
So much of what I make, like I don't really sew. So much of what I make is like thrift stores and a dream. I thrift, I would say 90% of what I have. The other 10% is like, again, hand sewn with a dream. There might be a couple things that I've ordered online. I really try not to do that because like fast fashion and drag can also really like, go together. And so quickly we can be buying all of this shit for shows that we just don't need to be. So I really try to steer away from that as much as I can. But, thrift stores, like getting like art supplies from there, like just sewing things together, like that is what I do. I'm like sitting in a pile right now. I'll show you of like rhinestones, like literally hand putting, one of these on outfits and stuff.
Well, you need to sparkle. Like
it's true under the stage lights, So it's a lot of crafting and scheming, which is also such a fun part of it. And again, a part of the art form that I love. It's not just doing music. It's like I get to handcraft these outfits and then what song am I going to perform in them? Like this, like it's all themed. Like, I don't know. It's so, for me, it's very thought out and that's what I love about it.
Yeah, I think that's so cool. And it's again, another one of those examples of like bringing everything that you love together to be one super thing that you do.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So it's really fun. I'm doing a lot of that right now. It very much is like Pride season because June is like Pride month, but everybody's Pride happens at different times, in different cities. So I'm preparing for a lot of different things right now. So this is my drag room that I'm in, and it is a disaster, and it will be until September. And in September, I'll clean it.
That's totally acceptable, though. You embrace the chaos, and
it's true. My artistic process, it needs to be sprawled out. Like I am looking at everything on the floor. Like that's how it is. And that's how it comes together.
And your makeup, again, oh my God, I love makeup. Actually, I remember one of the first times we met, you complimented my makeup. And I was like,
oh, yes. Even at that time, it's so funny because I look back and I'm like, oh my gosh, like I was basically doing drag back then. Like I had not, come to who I am now. I hadn't really realized all those things. I was masking a lot with the alcohol and also doing the craziest makeup looks for the most normal days in a good way. Like I was doing like the most, but it's so funny now because I'm like, oh no, like I'm still trans. Like, cause I'm like, well, why? Oh, maybe I'm not trans because I love doing makeup. No, I just am a drag artist. And here I am to this day. Like that was like the beginning stages of that. Like I've always loved doing makeup and I've loved doing weird looks, but obviously like weird toned down in a way where I could go to like my retail job. But now I get to do whatever I want. Now it's like
Watch
crazy. Yeah, exactly. So that's also been a very fun, even when I was like in high school, I would wake up at like 6 a.m., do these like insane makeup looks just to like go to school.
Yeah,
so
why not?
Yeah, so it totally makes sense now that I'm like, okay, but now it is very much all or nothing. I'm either like, of course, full drag, full glam, wig, like nails, makeup, or I look like this. Like there's no in between. Like I'm like, oh, like don't tell me I have to like dress up right now. Like if we're going to somewhere like fancy, I'm like, oh no.
But you kind of look fabulous either way, so.
Oh, well, thank you. Well, thank you. I'm like, if I'm doing an event, I'm like, oh, let me get my full glam on. Let me get my full glam on. It's fine. But yeah, it's very fun. I love getting to do my makeup. I'm pretty speedy at it at this point. If I want to be like leisurely, I take a couple hours just because I like to dilly dally. But if I have to like go, I can honestly do it in like half an hour.
That's really impressive.
Thank you. It's
like
taken a lot of years.
Drag makeup in 30 minutes?
Oh, fully I could if I'm in a rush. I hate doing it like that, but if I'm in a rush, I can. Yes.
Yeah, that's impressive.
I just like to dilly and dally, so.
Yeah, I do too. Like, I think, though, like, you should have a medal for that.
Thank you.
Because that just, I'm just thinking about some of your looks. I'm like, you could do that in 30 minutes. Damn.
Well, I've had to get ready in a lot of weird places because, again, my love for drag will always exceed anything else that I'm doing because I just love what I do so much. So if like some crazy circumstance happens where it's like, hey, like, I really want you to be in this thing, but it's like an hour after you're off work, I'll be like, okay, sure, whatever. And then I'll just like make it happen. Like, sure, and so like, I've done my makeup in the forest. I've done my makeup on an airplane, in the library, like in some very weird places. Like literally as of recently, I had a photo shoot the other day, but it really like lined up with my like job, my regular job. And the place was really close to the job. So I was like, okay, whatever. So I got ready in this like creepy little bathroom, where I work and was just like, they're all so used to it now. They're just like, okay, whatever. This is just regular day. Yeah, you go do that. But yeah, I'm used to doing the most for this. So it's fine. I can get ready really fast. I can get ready in any circumstance. Give me like a little mirror. I'll use like my phone flashlight. It's fine. We'll make it work.
Oh my God, that's so cool. And you were telling me too that you were on a TV show in the States.
Yes, this is partly why I can do this. So the show was called Camp Wanakiki, and it is a very small, like not a lot of people have heard of it. It's a very small production. It was on Out TV, which is a subscription-based service. It's based in Canada, but I think you can access it from anywhere. And the premise of the show is they take a bunch of drag performers, so, who are usually very glam and all of that, and they put us in a children's summer camp and basically make us do like activities like that. So like archery and like kayaking and stuff like that. So I had to, be in these like looks doing that, which was crazy.
So you had to get all super glam to go to do all these events. I
to
can
get
just
in like
picture
a
it.
kayak.
Like
yes,
with your
and I've
giant
never
platforms
kayaked.
in a
Yes.
kayak.
Yes. And I've never kayaked. And we also had like, like equipment on us because it was a TV show. And I remember getting in this kayak and they were like, okay, Ripp Em, like, you have to tell us you're not going to drop this microphone. And I said, I can't do that. And they said, no, you have to tell us like you're not going to. And I said, I can't do that. I'm not going to tell you I'm not going to drop it. I've never been in a kayak. Like, if I fall in this water, your mic is dying with me. Like, I don't care, guys. And thankfully I didn't. But yeah, I was like, I'm not making promises to you.
No. No.
So
I mean,
it was
I think
very...
even experienced kayakers couldn't make that promise. Like,
if I flip, we're flipping. It's going, the ship's going down. Sorry. Like, so it was a very, very fun experience. Met a lot of, people that will be friends for life now because what an experience to share. We literally slept in like bunk beds in a cabin. It was crazy. It was not glamorous. Like, these like drag race shows they get to do, they're in like a hotel and stuff. Like,
yeah.
I'm like sharing, like we had like, the showers with like this little curtain. I'm like, oh my God, like it's so awkward. Like shared everything. We really got close. Plus you're doing your makeup, it was like 14-hour filming days. So you had to like wake up, you're putting that makeup on and you're in it all day. So it taught me a lot about being more like, I guess, comfortable in it. Because I used to be the type of person that after a few hours, I was like, I want to get this off. I need to get this off. But now, after doing 14 hours in it, I'm kind of like, I can exist in this form and just be. It's okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, drag is, uncomfortable. It's inherently very uncomfortable. It's giant eyelashes and wigs and pins sticking in you. And, it's just, that's why... People are like, oh, do you like getting in? It's like, no one likes getting in drag. Like, we do it because it's fun and it's glamorous, but like, no one loves the feeling of getting in drag. It feels bad.
Yeah, I can understand that. But what do they say? Like, beauty is pain or whatever.
Yep. Taking that to that level. Yep. So yeah, that was the show. It was a lot of fun. It was very cute. Like I said, a very small show. Like the joke is whenever I do a gig, people will be like whoever's hosting and introducing me, will be like, who's ever heard of this show? And then it's like crickets. It's like, no one knows. So it's funny. Everyone's like, what do you mean? That's a real show? What? Yes, it is. But yeah,
I need to find it. I absolutely need to find it.
You can watch
it
the
sounds
first
great.
episode on YouTube, but the rest they try to make you pay for. Camp Wanakiki, I was on season 6. So if you can believe it, there's actually 6 seasons of this. Yes.
Holy. Yeah. Oh, I believe it because it sounds like a great premise. So
it is very silly. It's very silly.
But that's great though. And
it is. And I'm inherently silly. That's what I love. I always joke I'm a drag clown. I love to make fun of myself. I love to, nothing is serious to me. So I loved getting to do that.
With all of that, you also have a lot of things coming up, don't you?
I do. Spill
the tea.
oh my gosh. Well, first of all, I'm very, very, very excited because this will be the first year that I am doing Toronto Pride, which is I think second biggest pride in the world, which is so cool. So I will be singing for that. It is going to be the biggest audience I'm ever singing, I've ever sung for. So I'm so excited. It's literally a dream come true. I literally have dancers with me and everything. It's going to be I keep saying my literal pop star fantasy. I feel like this is me getting to sort of, kind of heal my inner child and literally be like, you were right. Like, we are doing that. We are an adult and we are doing like cool pop star things. So that is what I'm doing for Toronto Pride. I'm going to be live singing there on the 27th of June. And then also I am going to be doing some stuff here for Capital Pride as well here in Ottawa. And then at the end of that, I'm going to be heading down to Calgary and doing some things for Calgary Pride. So it's going to be a very busy summer.
What day is Calgary Pride?
Theirs is the very end of August, very beginning of September.
Perfect.
Yes. So theirs is a little bit later in the year. So I'll be down for actually a couple weeks in Calgary. So I'm excited for that, to see everyone. There'll be a couple shows down there as well. So yeah, busy here, there, and everywhere.
That's very, very exciting, though.
Yes, thank you.
And you're still releasing music?
Yes, so I haven't in a while. Well, funny, I did make a song for the first time in a very long time, but I have only performed it live. I haven't released it yet. Okay. So that is something that I am working out. I think I want it to be a little bit tweaked before I have it on streaming services. So that will be happening very soon. But I do have music under Ripp Em that you can currently listen to. And until then, it's been highly requested that some new music comes. So that is going to be a really big focus of mine this year. This really is my summer of live singing. I kind of like steered away from music for a little bit, just for like a lot of like kind of trauma reasons, I guess, going back to like the things we were talking about, both like having to come more into my transness and also just the whole, like I said, everything that I talked about. So getting to sort of reclaim music this past like year has been really cool for me, both kind of with a newer voice, as well as just as Ripp Em, like as this drag persona. So now I feel a lot more excited and confident and happy, and I'm totally getting back into the love of music that I have. So I'm really, really, really excited to release more original stuff this year. That's going to be a really big focus for like this coming year for 2027. So yeah.
I'm so excited because I do love your music. So
thank you. And I miss writing. I love, like, songwriting is something I just love so much. So I've been doing it behind the scenes. It's never stopped. I've just, haven't done much with it. So I'm excited to release things once more, to get back into the world.
And if people want to come find you, check you out, give you a follow, where's the best place?
Oh, yes, please do. Please follow me. I will keep you so updated on everything I'm doing there. You can find me on Instagram at Rippem13, RIPEM13. And that is also my TikTok as well. I don't post on there as often, trying to keep up with the kids. I don't know how they do it. But I try. Right? So those are the two, social media platforms I use the most, and especially Instagram. I update a lot where like my shows and everything will be. If you would like to catch me, if you're ever, somebody is listening and is in Ottawa, or I'm around Canada usually, I don't know, would love to get out to you, girl. So we'll chat, because that would be so cool. So one day, crossing my fingers.
Let's make that happen.
Yes.
And so if you could leave, say, I guess anybody who's been struggling with their personal identity, whether it's coming out as trans, or what would you give them? What advice would you give?
I would say there is always time. I would say there is always time. Whether you have taken a long time to come out, whether you are scared you are going to find community, whether you're just scared in general, there is always time. Do not rush yourself. You are exactly who you need to be. This is the journey that you are supposed to be on, and you are going to find the people that are going to care about you and love you no matter what. So there's always time. Do not deny yourself the life that you are supposed to live.
Thank you so much. I'm so happy that you could be on the show today.
Oh, thank you for having me. This was such a pleasure, and so nice to connect with you again. Oh my gosh, this was just wonderful. Thank you.
Thank you, and we will speak very soon.
You betcha.
Thanks so much for joining us on the Healthy Metal Hippie podcast. For more ways to connect, go to www.healthymetalhippie.com.